Hey everybody, it's Dodgy Yeti here, and we had some technical difficulties whenever it came to the first hour of the show this time around, and some of the audio is messed up, but the last half is a very good discussion and time. Q was away from his house for a while doing some stuff for work, so that's why he's coming in at a later time. And yep, I think that covers everything. We had some technical difficulties, so the pod will be a little shorter this time around, but still a good watch. Thank you. All right, so go ahead. Technical difficulties. Uh, Say what you we're gonna talk about now.
Next topic on the agenda is a lot of price hikes we were talking about before our little issue, talking about the Xbox ROG Ally X and S prices. Well, now we're going to talk about
Which
recently the
just
thing
in
that's been blowing. Go
just in
ahead.
case it didn't pick me up, $1,000 price point for that higher end. Stupid as hell. Dumb, dumb, dumb. All right, go on.
Yeah, hopefully that last hour picked up, but if not, I'm assuming you'll just cut it all and we'll just start from here. So we have Xbox Game Pass price hike, and the prices went up multiple times. I don't have, the chart of everything that has been increased, but currently it is in the United States 19.99. I think is what I pay for Xbox Game Pass. And there's PC Game Pass, there's Core, there's multiple different tiers, multiple different prices. A lot of people are seeing that we know it's increasing, but like we didn't know for sure when. A lot of people are getting notification that's increasing in November. And then Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the highest tier, is going up to $30, $29.99 in the US. PC Game Pass will be $16.49. Xbox Game Pass Premium $14.99, and then Game Pass Essential will be $9.99. Obviously, these different tiers are depending upon what you're in. You get different benefits, and obviously, for the longest time, everybody Game Pass was the best deal in gaming. 400. Let's see if I can 400 plus games or whatever. All the Xbox games day one in Game Pass and all this other stuff. But the advertisements are showing for Game Pass Ultimate 400 plus games playable on PC, console, cloud, $29.99 a month, 75 plus day one games a year, including all Xbox published games day one. Ubisoft Plus Classics, for everybody out there that was thinking it was just Ubisoft Plus. No, we're not getting Ubisoft Plus. We're getting Ubisoft Plus Classics. And EA Play, which we've had, with Fortnite Crew all coming in November. So if you like Fortnite, maybe. Unlimited cloud gaming at the best quality with the shortest wait times, in-game benefits, including for games like Riot Games, so League of Legends, online console multiplayer, and you can play and earn up to $100 in the store with rewards points. Premium, the middle tier, is you get 200 plus games playable console, cloud, new Xbox published games within a year of launch, so not day one. Unlimited cloud gaming, shorter wait times, in-game benefits, including Riot Games, online multiplayer, play and earn up to $50 a year store credit, and then the cheapest tier, which is essential, is 50 plus games now playable on PC, console, and cloud. Unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits. They don't get A1 games on Game Pass, and you can play and earn up to $25 for that. I don't know exactly what Fortnite Crew entails and what you get with that, but going up to $30 is kind of crazy. We're not getting a lot of extra added benefits. Um, I think the best value technically is PC Game Pass, but there was a price increase for Game Pass and a while back, and they were talking about potential family plans and stuff like that. And I personally have said that $25 is my cutoff point. And being that I'm in the media world, like I get some game codes early to review and stuff like that. So I get games, but I don't know about this $30 price point personally. Stuff's expensive these days in the real world, and like I understand. It's the same thing with Magic. It's a luxury hobby. It's not a necessity. However, the whole thing with Xbox want to reach 4 billion gamers. That's why they started the cloud initiative and all this other stuff. They kept saying Xbox is for everyone. Not at this price point. Not if you actually want people to get the ultimate tier Game Pass. And they've also removed some of the discounts on going to remove, if they already have it, some of the discounts on DLC for games that are in Game Pass. So I'm not quite sure. I think Call of Duty is still in Game Pass. I'd have to pull back up that web page, but I know in the fine print it said something about Call of Duty. So I don't know if they're pulling Call of Duty, future Call of Duties out of Game Pass or not. But there's a chance it's only in the ultimate tier of Game Pass if it still stays in Game Pass. I don't know for sure. Um, the rumor is, I don't know how true, like Call of Duty being in Game Pass lost 300 million in sales, but I'm assuming this is something that Xbox would have accounted for when they decided to put Call of Duty in the service. It's interesting to see at a time where everything within the industry and out of the industry, like food's expensive for people. People complain about groceries and stuff all the time. Console prices have went up instead of down like they normally do this far into a generation. You already increased Game Pass multiple times, and then you increase it $30. Um, I will say if I decide to stay in Game Pass Ultimate at $30, if it increases again, um, I will cut out after that probably if I decide to stay now. Um, I'm a very unique gamer in that I have specific tastes and don't need to play games right when they release. I have no problem. We talked about this last show. I have no problem playing a game at a later time because I started playing Metaphor ReFantazio recently. So it's interesting to see, being that I'm primary console guy, and I love Game Pass. The perks during the pandy, they had some perks where you could get free delivery service for food delivery services. You had special codes and stuff for perks. There's probably some other stuff I didn't mention, but like if you were a console gamer, is that value there for you at $30?
I don't see how the value is really there for anybody at $30. And I guess the only people that I can see there being really the value for is somebody who buy, like, if there is a game that is releasing every month for the next year that I want, then I can see the value in it. Because at that point, $30 is less than 60. So there's that. But in the end, you don't own the game anyways at that point. But you also didn't buy it, so if it is bad, you don't have to deal with that. But I don't know. I can't see a whole lot of benefits to this. And because what was the price at before the Ultimate Edition?
For Game Pass Ultimate right now, which it also includes PC Game Pass. I forgot to mention that into this, but I pay $19.99 currently.
See,
I think that's yeah, $19.99.
yeah, if it went, I think $20 is probably the extent at which I could maybe justify it. But at $30 a month, no, it doesn't make sense to me. because somebody like you, I understand, actually, because you have so many games that you want to be able to get on day one, even if they're not games that like you want, they're for an article or anything. It's much easier to be able to have the Game Pass instead of going out and buying it. Especially if it's a game you're not actually hyped for, but you need it so you can review it. So you don't have to go out and spend that money. But I don't know, like the normal everyday person. No, I don't think this is worth it at all. I think they are spitting in your mouth whenever it comes to this. Because from my understanding, yeah, they have not added anything to this really to
They've
incentivize.
modified, yeah, they've modified some things, and like I said, I don't really play Fortnite like that, so I don't know what Fortnite and crew entails. And the Ubisoft Plus Classics, um, it would be better if they gave people Ubisoft Plus in general. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I know a lot of people um, are outraged over it. A lot of people went and stacked multiple years of Game Pass recently. There's people that have stacked multiple years before and aren't affected. I've seen someone that had Game Pass Ultimate till 2053. So,
Jesus
however, whatever
Christ.
people decide, um, if it's for you, you know, keep it. If it's not, speak with your wallet. Like I
Yeah.
said, I need to decide on how much it benefits me personally for everything that I do. Um, I don't go through and play every game that exists, but it does help in some aspects, which was the only reason I was considering getting the Xbox handheld, anyways, is to help with content as well, in case you didn't get to hear that part of the show. So it'll be interesting to see, interesting price hikes and different corporate greed, which is interesting that we're talking about corporate greed because it brings us to another topic about corporate greed. EA. Everybody knows good old EA, right? Company that won worst workplace multiple years in a row. Um, EA is apparently not a super great place to work, but EA recently sold to a private investment fund or multiple people dealing with the Saudi people. The people that keep buying everything. Like WWE sold WrestleMania next year is gonna either next year's WrestleMania or the WrestleMania after is going to be in Saudi Arabia. Another wrestling company cut a promo. I forget the guy's name, but he plays the owner on camera, and it was Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground for Lucha Underground wrestling fans out there. But it was MLW guy, and he talked about WWE taking the blood money from the Saudis. So EA sells for 55 billion, and that includes taking on all the debt or whatever the case may be. And it was also rumored that they tried to sell BioWare and Mass Effect before that this deal went through. Being that I'm a big BioWare Mass Effect fan, Mass Effect's one of my favorite series. It's interesting to hear. So what do you think about EA selling to the privately invested Saudi group?
Um, I think it's gonna go one of two ways, and they're both just extreme. Either it's gonna EA is going to get more funds from them in order to under their little regime to make better games, or the microtransactions are going to be trying to rob everybody at gunpoint. And I can absolutely see that is going to be that is what I'm expecting more. Is microtransactions out the nose, more than what we already have. Plus, I also think that they are going to want to run up the price of what games cost on the end
The
user.
one thing I see with this um, is, if I'm not mistaken, they've been a. I have a whole bunch of web pages pulled up to reference. Um, like we mentioned, EA's poor reputation, worst company in America award twice. But Saudi Arabia is invested in multiple different things, heavily both golf and tennis. Um, they also established a golf tour in 2022 to oppose the PGA Tour. They offered huge sums of money to attract players away from PGA Tour. They reportedly offered one player 125 million to try to pull whoever this person was away. It also has stakes in other video game companies. Um, it's one of the largest shareholders in Nintendo. Um, they also purchased Niantic, which is the company behind Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
And this article I'm looking at as I'm referencing says live sports and video games have a few things in common. They're fun, engaging, entertaining, and being known for a good PR for a country that has been accused of human rights abuses is what these people are known for. Um, they've been accused of sports washing, using an association with sports to counteract bad publicity and their tarnished moral reputation. The fact that EA owns many sports game franchises would also be a bonus, potentially allowing further video game and sports collaborations. And in fact, the video game industry is projected to keep growing globally, makes it a good investment for an oil rich nation to economically diversify. Um, like I said, they're taking on a lot of debt and stuff like that, which when I hear a company buying somebody else and taking on all that debt, to me, as a union rep where I work, that means layoffs. So we've already been seeing a lot of layoffs in the video game industry. Layoffs happen every year. This year, a lot more so than previous years
They
for
happen every
multiple different
month
reasons.
now.
Multiple different reasons. And I seen somewhere where they're big into AI, so I could see them potentially trying to use AI to help alleviate some costs. And I know Microsoft is also trying to do that. So I don't know if like this investment group that bought EA would do it like more so force it on EA or whatever the case may be. But EA is staying in its location where it's at now, still operating independently, just under the umbrella of this investment group. So hopefully it's not too many layoffs, but I definitely see a lot of layoffs incoming.
Yeah, it's something that I would probably just expect at this point. I wouldn't. I can't see them not not doing layoffs, and then also continuing to try and well, what they say, sports wash, but do it
Yeah.
inside of like the video game, like the esports um, umbrella, like just trying to own everything. Because I mean, UFC's been going to over there to Saudi Arabia to do some of their cards as well.
WWE does multiple shows over there.
I was gonna
Done has
say
done shows for a long time now. They are
WWE.
big in like '90s wrestling. They got Shawn Michaels to come out of retirement, and it was like DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. It was one of the worst matches ever.
Worse
Triple
than
H tore his
Undertaker
back.
versus Goldberg
It
in
was pretty
Saudi.
bad. Um, You'd have to watch it to give your opinion on it. Triple H tore his pec. Kane's mask fell off. Shawn Michaels bald. Probably just weird seeing Shawn
He's got to
Michaels bald.
stop the. He's got to stop being bald.
It wasn't. It wasn't a good choice or a look for them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And something I also just noticed that I forgot to mention is they're also internally experimenting Xbox Game Pass with a free a free version of Game Pass that has ads, and you get to play for like a certain amount of time, like a day or some shit like that. But it's interesting to see what's happening to all the different video game corporations. EA selling to Saudi, um, Xbox doing all this stuff to reach the 4 billion gamers they say they want to reach, uh, but in return, pricing out the player base, um, which is weird because, like, there's a lot of. It's hard to say where the decision comes from. Does it come from the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, which is the head honcho? Does it come from Phil Spencer? He's the head of Microsoft Gaming or whatever his title is. Like the only person above him is Satya Nadella. It's got to come from one of them down to the Sarah Bonds and everybody else that works under them. So it's hard to say. I'm trying to choose the topics wisely too, just in case Q makes it back. So he's got some interesting stuff left.
Uh,
Next,
at this
next
point, I
topic.
probably wouldn't think he. I don't think he's gonna make it in time.
Okay, well, I will still do it just in case. And then if Q doesn't make it back, we'll save the Inuyasha comparisons for next show.
All right.
So the next topic is an interesting one. So recently, a Pokemon player was Pokemon TCG champion forfeits regionals after losing a card during pop off. Is the title for this or whatever. So recently, an incident unfolded during the first round of the grand final match during a regional when a judge paused the match to perform a deck recount and found only 59 cards. And I don't know this person's last name, but his name is Ahmed in Ahmed's deck. Terminal rules state that an incomplete deck is automatic game loss, but instead of playing on, Ahmed chose to just forfeit the entire match, handing Halliburton the regional title. Clips from the official Pokemon TCG stream later revealed what happened to Ahmed's missing card. During the videos in this comments, during a pop off is what they're calling it. In his previous match, Ahmed threw his headset off, accidentally knocking a card into his opponent's play area, which Ahmed had won this game. Calvin Connor, who was running the same deck as Ahmed, then scooped it up with his own cards, unknowingly creating the short deck situation that ended the final. Reddit users who shared the clip explained that Ahmed, exhausted after back to back marathon weekends, decided not to contest the ruling, noting his poor matchup in the finals and mental toll of playing since early morning. Top players can usually recognize missing cards by memory, but fatigue made the air harder to catch. Halliburton was crowned Pittsburgh's regional champion as a result, while Ahmed leaves the weekend with his world's invite secured and another remarkable run on his record. So picture this. You're in the finals of, I guess regionals for Pokemon would be like the equivalent of like a Pro Tour maybe. So picture this. You're in the finals of like the Magic Spotlight Series, the Magic Pro Tour, and then you get deck checked. Come to find out, your deck's missing one card, and you comboed off on a guy the previous turn. Like, I have no idea what my reaction would be. I personally would not forfeit. I would see if I could win, but
Yeah, but at that
that's crazy.
point, like, so it happened with his previous opponent. His previous opponent has his card. Unless that dude's still there, he can't continue anyways.
I don't know what the exact rules are for Pokemon,
Like if he's
but
got a sideboard, if he's got
sometimes the
a
Magic they replace them. So it just depends on how nice the judge is, I guess. But I don't know what their infraction procedure guide is.
Now, if like I don't know Pokemon very well, but if they have like a sideboard or something like that, yeah, I'd probably just slide in one of my sideboard cards. But if there's no like sideboard cards, then yeah, no, I kind of get it. I kind of get homie being like, you know what, I'm done. I'm over this. Some dude here has my other card, and or like it sounds like he didn't
At,
even know at that time that
at the at the
somebody.
time at the time he forfeited, he did not know.
So in his in to him, he's just missing a card now. There's just a card gone. So he might have been thinking that somebody yoinked one of his cards, and if somebody yoinked one of his cards, and then it gave him a game loss as well. Yeah, I'd be a little. I think I'd be. I don't know. I might have done exactly what he said. He did, and just said, "You know what? I'm done. I'm not going to mess with this tournament anymore. Just gonna take my leave." But that is a way to deal with it. That's for sure. I don't know.
He did have his Worlds invite already, and apparently he had a really good weekend the previous weekend. It's crazy to think the finals, and you get deck checked. You're missing a card. I just think it's funny because the news places that I've seen this calling it during a pop off in the previous round, like you don't hear that verbiage or slang, or you don't hear those types of words from these types of outlets. So Skaggs comboed off with Niv Mizzet in the previous round, and come to find out, he gets a deck checked in the finals. Come to find out, he's missing his Bring to Light target of whatever that card is. I'll never remember the name of it. You put in there. Yeah, you're missing your Extus, so it's just interesting, and I wanted to mention that because we talk a lot about Pokemon.
Listen, that deck made it kind of a pain to try and bring stuff, just because there were so many one of cards, and it was so hard.
That's the greatest thing about. It's the greatest thing about toolbox decks, man. You got an answer for everything.
Yeah, I'm sitting. I felt so bad because I hate it when people take forever, and I would take forever and be like, "I promise, I got something in here for this situation. I just gotta figure out what it is." Yeah.
But it's funny. He seemed like the video. I end up using the Facebook article to reference, but the video popping off is kind of funny. But like from every article I read about it, like the guy wasn't upset about the game loss he would have got or whatever. He's a cool guy, forfeited. He was already set for Worlds and everything. So interesting.
Yeah, he just gotta what? Go ahead and play against tougher opponents.
Keeping on the topics of TCGs, I know we don't really talk about Yu-Gi-Oh on the pod, but it is a topic to talk about. Yu-Gi-Oh has pretty much been one format for a long time. There's times Konami will introduce Time Wizard formats like Rivalry of Warlords, GOAT, Edison, Tengu format, whatever the case may be for Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there. You know what I'm talking about. And usually they'll get supported smaller like side events at like their big YCSs, which are the pro tours to us. That's pretty much the equivalent. And Konami, out of the blue, I think it was last week, announced a new format called Yu-Gi-Oh Genesis. And this format, which is spelled GENESYS, not appropriate like the Genesis we would know about, focuses on the way Yu-Gi-Oh used to be played, There's no ban list besides link monsters and pendulum monsters. Those are not legal in this format. Every card has a point value. And based on however they determine the point values, like floodgates or stuff that stops people playing the game, or really powerful cards, obviously the points will be higher. And usually, I think they said that they're going to do 100 points tournaments is what is what it will usually be. There are cards that are 100 points. There are cards that are 0 points. Obviously, the cards that are 100 points, you can't run more than one, and then you have to run all zeros. And there's a lot of zeros. But it's a way to provide a different format for people. They've been talking about it for a long time. Um, a lot of backlash came because Konami said that they weren't going to offer GOAT or Edison at their YCS tournaments, which are the popular retro formats for people that don't like the new modern format. Because I'll be honest, played a lot of trading card games. Played a lot. Yu-Gi-Oh is by far the most complicated card game in the modern era. So they created a format called Time Travel before this Genesis thing happened, where you could use the old cards. Still, it'd be the old format. However, that new rulings are what was going to be used, not the old rulings, which is what is used for these formats. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis, point value on cards. What do you think about this type of system? Because we've seen this before. I've never played it, but there is a format that exists within Magic where point values determine what you use. It's called Canadian Highlander. So, what do you think
I
about new format, point-based system, being able to potentially add some diversity to modern players, and then maybe even potentially bring back older players to the game?
I like it actually. Funny enough, I think it's cool. I think it's a way to be able to continue to use a card and not have it have to get banned. It just goes up in a point value, and you can either can't run as much of it or you just can't run as much support for it. And if you love that deck so much, you'll figure out a way to make it work.
And they did say they will update periodically. Obviously, it's in the infancy of its lifetime, so they've already updated point system once, and they said they will keep on it. And usually, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't provide any feedback in regards to like a ban list situation or stuff like this. So they're using an old Yu-Gi-Oh blog format like they used to, and apparently they're going to have constant feedback and updates about this Genesis as they mold the format too. So like it's a
I got
constantly
a
updating thing.
I got a buddy that plays, like on a team thing. I might get a hold of him, see what he thinks about it. But to me, I think it sounds cool. And honestly, if we would have had that in Magic, I think that there's a good chance that I would have stuck with it for much longer. Because, I mean, you can't just run the absolute best cards in the format and just have a good control deck. Because all the best cards in the format, whenever I was playing, were control cards. They fit right into a control deck perfectly. So it felt like I was playing against nothing but control decks. So I don't know. I think it's a very interesting way to do it, and I think it's cool. I wouldn't mind to see it in Magic, honestly.
I think if they add it to Master Duel, I think it might have a chance to pick up more in popularity than it already has. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
What do you
But
know?
speaking,
What kind of what the community sentiment is over in the Yu-Gi-Oh side about it?
it varies. It varies. A lot of people that are there he is. A lot of
What
people
up,
that
Pimp?
are. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh Genesis right now, the new format that is Konami announced point-based system that will, and they've announced support for this. So like the YCSs, which are the equivalent of Pro Tours, there is a next year. There's a YCS that's strictly Yu-Gi-Oh Genesis. It's a point-based
Okay.
system. No ban list. Links and pendulums are the only ban cards. Using the way Yu-Gi-Oh used to be, the 5 monster zones, 5 spell trap card zones, no extra monster zone, and based on how powerful the card is, or the floodgate, or prisony, or bad the card is, higher points. There's lots of cards that are 0 points, goes all the way up to 100, and
Okay.
most of their big tournaments are going to be 100 base points. And there are cards that are 100 points that people have literally. I've seen multiple different deck lists of people trying it out. So that's pretty much what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Skag said that he thinks it would be interesting to see Magic utilize something like this because when he was playing a lot, uh, control cards were the prime rib, so to speak, and that's what everybody was playing at that point. So he thinks it'd be interesting. So what do you think about Yu-Gi-Oh Genesis and a point system for formats? Because you could play Pot of Greed, you could play Graceful Charity again. They're no longer banned, and the impact you think it might have to bring back older players, or just provide some diversity for people that still play the modern game.
Sadly, I'm the wrong homie to ask because I have never learned, nor do I know how to play. Do I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? So I have no concept of even how to get a
Okay.
monster on the field or anything like
Well, let me
that.
give you some context, and you could just speak about the format specifically. So, Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time has had one supported format. Period. It's been all the cards legal besides the forbidden and limited list or whatever. So you've always played every card, whatever the case may be. Obviously, forbidden cards, semi-limited you have two, limited you have one. They've never had other supported formats. Recently, they made an announcement because there's old popular formats that people called GOAT, which is old cards based around the time period where Scapegoat first came out. And there's Edison and Tengu format. They're all based on like time frames of whatever the ban list and popular card was at that particular time. None of
Okay.
these formats are supported. Edison is by far the most popular format, kind of like Modern and Magic right now, even though Modern's supported by Wizards. Edison was the most popular format, and they recently made an announcement that it would no longer be supported by uh, the OTSs. That's like the equivalent of being sanctioned by Wizards for Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Okay.
stores had to run this new format called Time Travel, which used updated rulings, updated boards, and stuff like that instead of what people were enjoying playing. So this format came after they just took that away from everybody, and everybody was kind of mad about it because Edison, like I said, is the most popular unsupported format. So they announced this Yu-Gi-Oh Genesis. The general consensus among Yu-Gi-Oh players is they like it. Obviously, it's infancy phase. They've already updated the points system once. So it's just, I guess, from just picture you being an old Magic player, I guess is a good comparison. You being an older Magic player, you leaving the game when Pioneer came out. Pioneer's your era. So Pioneer comes out. You're like, man, I don't know. You quit Pioneer. But then, this new format for Magic where point based point based system, you come back and do all this cool shit. So I guess it's like from a diversity uh, situation, like, do you think it is good for the particular game or not?
Yeah, I think that's cool. I do like Skaggs' idea too that if Magic assigned something like this where there was Because now that they have the multi-tiered thing in Commander, where your deck sits at a certain level, so you know who to play with. I feel like if they're doing stuff like that, that would be easy enough to be like, you can make 100 point, 300 point, 500 point, decks. And then you can have little everything's unbanned except for what? Okay, I guess I'll throw a question back at you. What would you keep on a ban list in that specific situation if they were to do something like this in Magic?
See, but yeah, I don't even know if you necessarily need to do a ban list at that point because like Yu-Gi-Oh has cards that are worth 0 points, cards that are worth your whole 100 points.
Okay, so one card could eat up your entire
Yeah. And then you
everything.
have to play all 0 points. But the difference
So
in
like
Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic
you make the moxes like 50 points. So that's like if you want a mox in your deck, you can have one mox, or you can have two moxes in your deck, but then everything else is going to be nothing burgers.
we don't have pendulum or link monsters either, so it's if you were going to try it for Magic, I don't think that you could have a ban list per se. But we do
You
have a format. I explained this to Skaggs. There is a format in Magic called Canadian Highlander, and it
okay?
is a point-based system. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it exists, and I do see people talk about it. So I just thought it was interesting because I do occasionally. I mentioned this last show that I do occasionally. I like Master Duel. I'm an old Yu-Gi-Oh player that quit when Synchros came out, and I just I started watching it just because a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh people, they're entertaining. Like it's like watching me, you, or Skaggs doing stupid YouTube stuff, making hilarious content. That's why I started. I'm like, well, maybe I get back into it. And I found some aspects of certain Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I could relate to Magic, and it's why I dabble a little bit, but I don't actually like. I'm not actually ingrained. So something I wanted to mention, and right before you came, we can dally back to this. We're not sure if the whole hour was caught on the podcast or not, so we just might have from 11 to noon, anyways.
Oh
So
no!
the
Yeah,
only thing
my
you missed was Tokyo Game Show and uh, PlayStation State of Play and the Xbox handheld prices. So you didn't miss a lot. But right before you got here, I want to know what you think about this. So Pokemon Regionals, a guy in the finals gets deck checked. Come to find out he has 59 cards, the rules state you have to get a game loss if it's a legal deck. The guy popped off in the previous round in the semifinals, and when he popped off, he kind of got up to celebrate and threw his headset off, and it knocked his card into the opponent's play area, who's playing the same exact deck. So he just kind of scooped up the cards, not realizing it. And so this guy in the grand finals in the first round just ended up scooping. Well, he ended up
Oh
forfeiting. He didn't have to forfeit. I don't know exactly what the infraction procedure is after that of replacing the card, but at that time he didn't know where the card was, I assume. And
yeah.
so he's like he forfeited to the guy. He's like, I already got my Worlds invite, and like the guy seemed pretty cool. He had back-to-back marathon weekends going very far. He might have won the previous weekend or something like that. So picture
So
Q's in the finals of a pro tour. Q's in pro tour reality fracture, which we're getting ready to talk about shortly for the last topic. Q's in pro tour reality fracture. It's a sliver based set. You're in the finals against Skaggs. You're playing slivers, obviously, and you're one of Sliver God. Got mixed in with Skaggs' slivers in the previous round because you popped off. No, mixed in with somebody else's previous round because you popped off on them, and you're missing your Sliver God. You get deck checked in the finals against Skaggs.
uh
What would your feeling be? Like, just my stomach would be in knots if I was in like the
oh yeah.
finals or something like that. I don't know what my reaction would be. I wouldn't. I told Skaggs I wouldn't forfeit. I would attempt to try to win, but
Yeah. I
it might
think
be different
okay,
if I had a world's invite too. But also, like the guy had a world's
yeah.
invite already. So.
So what was the what was the sleeve situation? Was everybody rocking the same sleeves? Like, how was this not
I
more
thought
Pretty sure.
obvious?
I thought about that too, but the way that I thought about it was that maybe the card was like face up, where they didn't see the sleeve, they just seen the card, and just
Sure.
homie's just mad that he lost, so he just grabs everything and just rolls.
There's actually a
Sure.
video. I will send it to you after the show. I have to refine it because I already exited off my tabs as we talked about topics. But I'll send you the video. And like the guy didn't seem upset in the previous round, so the sleeves were probably similar. It was a face up situation, like Skag said. But like you see the headset come off and the card gets knocked over the play area. So like
Mm. I mean, that's bad luck, but that's what I would think that somebody who has a world's invite and is like doing the high level tournaments like that, you would be counting your cards all the time. You'd be making sure your deck is together. You'd be, rethinking. I'm not a player like that, but even at our Friday Night Magics and stuff, Eric and Bailey and all of those guys, I mean, after each game, would sit there and look through every single one of their cards. They all had to be the same way. They all had to be correct. They count their cards. They knew exactly what was going on. So for me, I think you can only be so frustrated with that situation. It is a messed up situation, but ultimately you're exactly where everyone else in the world who's playing the Pokemon trading card game wants to be, and just a funky situation happened. So I think that's probably why I can see why he forfeited, because it was like, I mean, well, I'm already going to Worlds and I'm not going to waste anybody's time with this silliness. So I'll just roll on and take the L where I get the L.
all right, like I was saying, TCGs we're getting ready to lead into. I saved the Magic topic just hoping that Q would make it here in time. Recently, the first modern Pro Tour in a while, we had Pro Tour Edge of Eternities, which was the recent modern set, which brought cards into the format like Quantum Riddler is really popular and some other cool stuff. So I watched it all and uh, shout out to the person that wins. I can't pronounce his name, but I will try to shortly. There's a few different things that went on with this Pro Tour. First, we'll talk about the actual Pro Tour itself. Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. There was rounds of draft, then modern. Day two, rounds of draft, then modern, and then modern for the top 8. And it's one of the most diverse metagames we've had in a long time. So, if I can bring up my shit so I can see. So, 16.7% of the people there were playing Esper Gorios, which is a Goryo's Vengeance deck. You've seen me play it multiple times over the years. This one's more so not solely focused on the graveyard. Has so if their graveyard gets hated, they can do some other stuff. There was Tameshi Belcher, which is a deck around Goblin Charbelcher. It's the one that you activate this artifact, reveal cards top your library. You hit a land, they take damage equal to the number of land cards that you mill. I've seen someone get their turn taken. I've seen the Belcher player get their turn taken by an Eldrazi, the Emrakul that takes people's turns, and he belched the guy's self, and it was really hilarious to see on camera. Belcher was 15%, Boros Energy 13.7%, Eldrazi Tron had 7.3%, Izzet Affinity, which is blue red, 6.7%, Esper Blink 5.7%, Amulet Titan 5%, Simic Neoform, which is the deck I just built recently before the Pro Tour, 4.3, Domain Zoo 4.0, a ramp deck 4.0, and then there's 53 other decks that were 17.7%. So for us, where we talked about diversity being key, I know Skaggs talked about a lot of the reason he left at the time that he left was Grief and Scam decks were really popular.
It wasn't.
Solitude was
It
being
wasn't
played in every
scam
deck that could
decks.
play. Solitude is being played in every deck that could play white. So interesting to see this diverse metagame. Um, I don't have pulled up who won, but it was a Belcher player that won. Top 8 was diverse. There's a control deck that was interesting. There was 2 Belcher decks. There was my deck. Luckily, every time that my new deck on camera was played, it got its ass whooped. It lost every fucking round I seen my
Oh,
new deck on camera. I seen one time where the guy won, and it was the guy that made top 8. But top 8 was pretty diverse. It was interesting to see for once. We've seen a recent standard Pro Tour where Vivi, and we talked about that, was the top deck. So modern looking pretty diverse. What do you guys think about those percentages before I talk about the sets they revealed?
I dig that a lot. I think that maybe, just maybe, with that new set, I haven't paid attention to the sets just because I'm sort of, sort of out of it, you know. But to me, if they are making if they're making the set specifically so that they can put a little more diversity back out into the game, and let's be honest, they should be making stuff for modern. Nobody's playing standard anymore. Just keep feeding modern so they can keep making their money. If they're doing that to kind of bring diversity back to the game, I think that that's great. It sounds like the past couple sets have put some decent enough cards in that that's happening. I mean, clearly, if there's a pro tournament that has that kind of diversity in the finals, then I'm I think that's great. I think that that's what the game needs, truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah. Divert. Listen, I will never be upset at there being diversity in the game. I think metas ruin ruin the fun out of anything that they're really like. Once everybody starts playing the exact same thing, then whatever it is, whether it's a video game, card game, whatever, it's no longer.
Yep.
It was interesting to see because obviously these are the pro players, and to see it diverse of people within a pro team that they usually train. They practice like a week before. They do a lot of drafting, decide what the best cards are. They have like a draft meeting, and they decide what they think the best constructed deck is. They have a chance to see some people deviating. Like there's pro teams that people from their team played. There's 3 different deck choices for the team. People just felt more comfortable with certain decks. Like the guy that made top 8 with Neoform might have been the only player from his team that played Neoform. So interesting to see. It was a good pro tour to watch. I know there's still some people that complain, but people are going to complain about like there's everything out there. There's somebody that doesn't like it,
Yeah.
and they had some announcements. They announced what's coming out next year. We talked a while back about um, our favorite tribes, and I had mentioned fairies, which for some reason kind of shocks Skags a little bit. But first set next year, Lorwyn Eclipse, a set known for fairies, goblins, Kithkin, um, elementals, and they showed off a couple cards. We're gonna have some evoke stuff, which is interesting. Um, you'll have to just look it up, or I'll send it to you after the show. But they have like this card. If you use this color when you cast it, it does this. If you use this color, it does this. So like you can cast it for its actual cost, get both effects, or you can evoke it, essentially getting one effect. They showed off a creature, which is the one everybody's been talking about. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it is 2 black for a 1/1 with flash flying. and it's Bitter Blossom on a creature. So every upkeep makes a fairy. You take 1 damage.
Oh. Okay.
So as a Bitter Blossom and Fairy enjoyer, I'm interested to see what else is going to be in the set. They released another tribal or typal card, depending upon how you want to refer to it. We recently had Kozilek's Command, which is a Eldrazi spell in Modern Horizons 3. And then they had one that's an Elemental Command in Lorwyn coming. And then after Lorwyn, they have a to be announced Universes Beyond set that's not been named. There's been lots of rattlings and stuff that this is a Nickelodeon based set.
Oh no.
Cat
But
dog.
no, you'll be surprised when I tell you. The rumor is Ninja Turtles. And after they said Nickelodeon set, I'm like, Ninja Turtles is not Nickelodeon. And
It is.
I didn't dive into it, but apparently Ninja Turtles is Nickelodeon. So
Yep.
the rumor is Ninja Turtles. I don't know how true it is. Like I said, that's a rumor. The set after that is Secrets of Strixhaven, which is the second in-universe Magic set. Old Strixhaven schools, wizards, stuff like that. Then we have Magic the Gathering Marvel Superheroes. So easy, Iron Man, Captain America, whatever the case may be. Then we have Magic the Gathering, The Hobbit. So we had Lord of the Rings a couple years ago, last year, whatever the case may be. Now they're going to do The Hobbit. And people have been saying they have the best chance to do something funny, and that is to release another one of one ring from the Hobbit set, which
A third?
which would piss Post Malone off. I'm sure he'd probably buy it though. Then they have a set called Reality Fracture, which is the third in-universe set for next year. And then after that, a set I'm not looking forward to because I'm not a fan of this franchise is Magic the Gathering Star Trek. So next year we have 3 in-universe sets, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 out of universe sets. That I'm assuming these are going to be sets. Like I don't know how, like full standard sets or whatever the case may be. Obviously, Lorwyn, Strixhaven, Reality Fracture will be full standard sets. I don't know about the other ones. They announced like a whole bunch of. Obviously, we'll get secret layers regardless. So if you're into secret layers, that's cool for you. Iron Maiden secret layer. They have a Jaws secret layer. They have Dwight secret layer. I've literally never watched The Office, but they have a Dwight secret layer coming.
I saw
So
that. They did a new Reaper King print with Dwight with a pumpkin on his head. And it's just Reaper King. All the Dwight cards, in my opinion, lame as shit. I think The Office is kind of funny. That set, silly.
So that's the second part of this. We have those sets coming next year: 3 in universe, 4 out of universe. Before we get to the last part of this, what do you guys think about that?
That's awful.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in Lorwyn. I've heard you say good things. We haven't played. We haven't been back to Lorwyn since I've been a player, right?
Lorwyn's when Ponder, and I think I could be wrong on this. I think Ponder and Thoughtseize came out in the original Lorwyn. I'm 100%
Oh wow.
sure Ponder did.
Yeah.
Ponder did. I'm not sure about Thoughtseize.
I thought that Thoughtseize came out in
I know it was in
Theros.
Theros. I know it was in Theros. I thought it might have been in Lorwyn, but like I said, I could be wrong. Ponder definitely did come out in Lorwyn.
So I'm excited to go back there. I mean, a lot of people talk fondly about Lorwyn, so that'll be cool. I'm very excited to see what reality fracture means. If they're gonna do some silliness where maybe my boy Grook comes back, maybe they swap around some of the color identities of all of our planeswalkers, make them be different people, but I kind of thought that was the whole point of planeswalking was that you were a constant within all of the planes. But who knows? Who knows what they're doing anymore? Reality Fracture sounds cool. Lorwyn sounds cool. Everything else,
Bring back Dak Faden. Go ahead, Skaggs.
Bring back Dak Faden. I don't like all the in universe stuff. Cool. The the From Beyond, you're they're getting too wild with it. At first, I was cool with it. Warhammer, a little bit of a stretch. Fucking uh, Lord of the Rings, perfectly fine. I don't, the Office, man.
Yeah. No, not The
Really?
Office. Just Dwight.
I don't care.
Just
It's
a Dwight Secret Lair, 4 cards, 4 or 5 cards.
that and Nickelodeon Turtles. Nickelodeon
If it's
Turtles.
Well, the good thing about Nickelodeon Turtles is I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to say this. The good thing about that is that encompasses all Ninja Turtles. So Nickelodeon now owns Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we're definitely going to get some like of the Nickelodeon turtle cards, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do some cool like here's the comic book art of each of the turtles. So
I
they own all of that stuff.
I want a 5 color Last Ronin.
Dude, that would be sick. Okay, hold on. Put colors to the turtles. Raph is red, obviously.
Leo's blue. Leo's. I would put Leo white.
I was gonna
Honestly,
say Leo's probably white,
Donatello's blue.
Donnie's blue, and Mikey would probably. I don't know. He doesn't fit
Oof.
green, and he doesn't really fit black either.
I think Raph is going to be red black.
Okay, you're going multicolor. I like that.
I
I think
mean,
he'll
if we
be
go
the only one.
multicolor, it
I think
fits
he'll be the only
better.
one that's multi.
Red, black, blue, white for uh
Leo.
Leonardo. Blue,
Blue red for Donnie.
blue, red for Donnie, and then you could do like green
Green white.
White. Well, I was gonna say white red
for Mikey.
for Mikey, or green
I
white
like
would
that.
work too.
But you're also forgetting we're gonna have Splinter. We're gonna have Shredder. We're probably gonna have Foot Clan, so you can give Shredder black. You can give Splinter
Actually,
green.
green for Mikey. Green for
Green for
Mikey
Mikey. Okay.
because food tokens and shit.
Oh yeah, I do like that. That would be cool. You could even do I could see Mikey being white as well.
So green white works perfect for Mikey.
Yeah.
It just sucks
Yep.
that he'll be locked behind like having to use food tokens, but
Yeah.
honestly, that's one that I'd probably sacrifice some
There's
gameplay
a
to
there's
play.
a there's a modern deck. There's a modern deck based around. Oh, he's in the deck, but it utilizes Samwise Gamgee. He's a green white creature that helps do infinite food stuff. So if they have a Samwise Gamgee that can do infinite food stuff, this Michelangelo better do some cool food shit too.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy shit about you saying that is here's my Magic the Gathering deck. It utilizes the new Ninja Turtle Michelangelo card and the Samwise Gamgee's card for infinite food shenanigans. It's like
I
that
hate
doesn't
that
sound like
statement.
Magic anymore. That doesn't sound like Magic the Gathering anymore.
I hate that statement so much. Actually,
It's Fortnite the Gathering now with all this
They,
crazy
they've
shit.
got Fortnite cards already.
yeah, we have Fortnite, we have League of Legends. Even though that
I
was a
want to.
big fumble, I feel like to me because a lot of the creature, like the legends in League of Legends, like all the champions could have easily made like really cool creatures for that secret layer, but instead they gave us spells and summoners. Lame, lame.
Yeah.
Where's my
Yep.
Aatrox? Where's my Yasuo? Where's Nautilus? Where's Cho'Gath or Urgot? Like, give us a Master Yi. Like, give us something.
Yeah. I think the Ninja Turtles has a possibility of being cool, but if they do Ninja Turtles like they did, well, SpongeBob was a secret layer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there
So
that one like pissed a lot of people off from what I read too.
I think I'm okay with the way that they did SpongeBob. If you want to make a silly, goofy ass art for an existing card in Magic, a reskin of something that already exists, and you like SpongeBob so much that you would buy that card and make it your commander or whatever. That is what it is.
Mhm.
To me, it's not my cup of tea, but get your money where you get your money. Where I have a problem is where they make a set and they create, here's a brand new creature. Here is Michelangelo. Here is Samwise Gamgees. And they become staple. I mean, like, even when I play Commander with the group that I play with, I mean, two of them have built up precons from Lord of the Rings because the Lord of the Rings cards were good. And not saying anything against, Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings a little bit, but it it's going to start creating this weird dynamic where, exactly like I was saying, you're going to have Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, and Samwise Game, and just all of these different characters that don't go together and aren't Magic the Gathering characters dominating Magic because that's what they're putting out. Instead of progressing the lore, instead of building the world, instead of giving me Garuk back, they are focused on Ninja Turtles. And you know what would be a cool set? Do the Power Rangers.
Mhm.
It's been
And
talked
then
about.
do an Exodia ass card where you get each of the pieces of the Megazord, and if they're all out on the field, you get to freely pull it from outside the game, the goddamn Megazord card. Bang! There it is. You're playing a vehicles deck, and
Voltron baby.
yeah, literal. Yeah, yeah. Do Voltron too. Do Zoids. Do Power Rangers Zoids.
No, like
Voltron.
the playstyle Voltron.
No, that's what I'm saying. But imagine Voltron and Voltron, dude.
Yeah, I would Voltron.
Before we get to the comparisons, there's one more Magic thing in regards to Pro Tour we have to talk about. So that part was, kind of positive for the most part. More sets. Real happy about going back to Lorwyn. Interested to see what else that they have. I've not bought a whole in-universe standard box for a while. Like I bought a box of Lord of the Rings, a box of Final Fantasy. Like those aren't in-universe sets, but I did buy a box. I might buy a box of Lorwyn. I'm a big fairy fan. If I could have any deck be a meta deck for modern that I play, it'd be some type of fairies. And I've tried to play at the shop before, I just couldn't get it to work well. So there's a Magic player slash judge who known for cheating, I guess, and was at this pro tour. Something happened beginning of this year, and he made an apology. Said after this pro tour, I will retire from the game. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact words, and his Twitter is now private. I've had this. I've had his Twitter up for like 6 days since I made these topics, and now it's private as of today again. But he apologized. Said he's gonna had this big long apology. He's gonna just focus on judging, helping the community. Blah 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 blah. And he said, um, "This is my last pro tour. If I after I get so many wins, I guess whatever the amount of wins before like your next win cues you for the next pro tour is like congratulations to my opponent. You win. I will concede," is what he said. So like
Hmm.
if you're, for example, like if you're at 8 wins and 9 wins cues you for the next pro tour, he said he would scoop to his opponent in that round or whatever the case may be. His name is Noah Raven. And I tried to decide if I was going to talk about this just because I don't want to provide any more spotlight on this guy, but any type of cheating I think we should talk about. So I found a thread on Blue Sky. This guy Robert Taylor. He shares a lot of the Magic stuff out, but he was known for like playing extra lands or something like that. I have not found a video of the actual cheats he's done over the years, but people have talked about it, so it's definitely true. So this is from 6 months ago. So this Robert Taylor guy, real cool Magic person, there's a thread about cheating, angle shooting, abusive behavior from Noah Rabin, whose round 14 opponent was wrongfully disqualified at a regional championship. Robert states that Noah is very consistently runs the line of angle shooting and cheating, was playing against him in the top 8 of RCQ and realized he hadn't taken any damage from his pain lands for most of the game. Whoever is his opponent, Noah's opponent, that's on them to also keep track of that as well. Noah Raven is a level 3 judge, by the way.
Wow.
Cheater angle shooter. He's also a judge that makes an effort to find and give people game losses in any way that he possibly can. Tries to utilize that as a player as well. Someone near round 14, around the round 14 DQ of Noah's opponent, it seemed like Noah was fishing for a violation to avoid dying because he was dead on the next turn. Someone made a second land drop from Dryad of Legion Grove to finish opponent off of Valakut triggers. So Noah made a second land drop off Dryad. Dryad lets you play an additional land. So he made a second land drop off the Dryad, or whatever the case may be. But I said that Urza Saga was his first land, and which couldn't have been his first land for that turn because the Saga had 2 counters on it. Whatever. Some of this is scrambled, so it's hard to dissect it all. But played more than 2 lands. He's banned from multiple stores. Angle shooter. He got DQ'd from an event for playing an 18-card sideboard. He in a Boston, Northeast United States event, he convinced a judge to let him take a game loss for having a 20-card Karn board, which Karn board is just a sideboard, just a nickname that they call decks that play Karn. Convinced him to let him take a game loss in the previous round instead of the active round because he 2-0'd the last round. And taking a game loss in that round would mean 2-1. Noah still would have won versus the game loss should have been in the current round.
Mm-hmm.
At Pro Tour March of the Machines, his opponent spoke little English, and Noah consistently used this to take advantage and try to get his opponent to make errors for misunderstanding the game state. Opponent visibly flustered. Noah continued to use the language barrier to help gain an advantage, to get his opponent multiple warnings that piled up into a game loss for the opponent. Then saw Noah commit a similar error as he has been so quick to call a judge for, and immediately just fixed it himself, played on without alerting the judge. And this is just a long list of stuff from this Robert guy that helps identify this stuff. So this guy pretty notorious. Well, come to find out at this Pro Tour, there was a situation. Noah is 1 win away from queuing for the next Pro Tour, and he does not scoop to the guy after this big long apology to the community, all this stuff. Wins the guy, and Noah is queued for the next Pro Tour. So we obviously know your stances on cheating per se, but on a situation like this, what is your thoughts?
I think he should have been gone a while ago. I think if you have a long history, and for me, a long history of cheating is when you cheat one time, you will always cheat forever because you have no respect for the game or the people that you're playing the game with. If you're ever caught cheating, to me, you are a cheater. If you accidentally mess something up or you play something wrong and it gains you an advantage, sure. But you have to learn from that. If you consistently try to utilize I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just a new player, that's cheating. When you're a level 3 judge and you know what you're doing, everything is cheating. Everything that you're doing.
just want to mention real quick. You mentioned if you unknowingly gain advantage, there's 3 ways for a judge to determine if someone is cheating. And I know I'm not going to say them all correctly just because it's hard to remember, but it's like, um, did you gain an advantage from the situation? And usually that check marks. It's usually if something happens. And there's another one I can't remember. Oh, it's like, did you commit like some type of error? Yes. Did you commit something that provided you an advantage? Usually yes. And the third one is like, did you knowingly? And like there was 4 instances of like accidents happening from like the Pro Tour. Like there was a situation where someone was playing the flip cards, front side's not a land, the back side's a land, and from a previous game around, they forgot to turn them back over, and just in a hurry, like they were, he played a card that let him get a land or some shit like that, and one of the lands comes into play tapped, and one doesn't come into play tapped, and no, you could get something that wasn't a creature, is what it was. One of the lands was a creature, but it was on the backside of a land, and he got that land. He could have got the other land, would have been a valuable target. And like, there's just lots of small stuff like this. And like I said, it's only cheating if you knowingly cheat. Accidents happen all the time to everybody. I knock
Yeah.
fucking cards. I knock cards on the floor. I knocked cards on the floor several times at Dominique and Blake's house last night playing Magic. So just,
Yeah.
but yes, level 3 judge. If you knowingly are doing this, it's kind of crazy because like I don't go to all these big tournaments. I don't do the judging and stuff like that. Like, but like I am a judge. People can look up the list of eligible judges in the region or eligible judges. Period. Like, well, this guy last round cheated and he's a judge, and then they go look like, well, I wonder if all these people on this list of these judges are cheaters as well. So like it hurts not only the game, well, it hurts himself, which is his own fault, but it hurts the game's reputation and judges' reputation because we don't get paid to do this. On big events, you get some type of monetary compensation, but when I judge at Jordan's, I did it to provide a guiding hand there in situations where it was necessary, but I didn't do it to make money because you don't. I
Yeah.
mean, I still pay a $5 a month judge fee, and I get no benefit
Yeah.
besides judging.
He's
So
abusing the power of understanding the game better than 98% of the populace that plays Magic the Gathering. When you're a level 3 judge, you really understand the game. And he's abusing his knowledge of the game to attempt to win. To me, you should hit a certain level of judge where it's like, hey, if you mess up at all in the tournaments, if this is truthfully anything other than a true blue accident or a mistake, you are not allowed to play in this tournament anymore. As soon as a level 3 judge even remotely looks like they're cheating, get that guy out of there and ban him from events. Definitely don't let him go to the Pro Tour. That's outrageous.
what do you think, Skaggs?
I mean, kind of like what Q said. I mean, whenever you're a judge, you shouldn't be able to use the excuse "I didn't know." Try and act like you're you didn't understand what was going on or something like that. Like, yeah, there's mistakes. You can fucking overlook something like a couple times or whatever, but that's also until it becomes a habit, pretty much. But yeah, he should have been probably taken care of a while ago. But that's what happens in Magic is we find these people that cheat and then we just don't do anything
Yep.
about it.
Yep. Until
There
people are
is
made. high level like this guy. Look at this guy. He's a cheater. He's a cheater. Until Wizards comes out and does that to everyone who cheats and make sure that they're not allowed to enjoy the game anymore, which they already don't enjoy the game. If you're cheating in a fucking trading card game, you don't enjoy the game. You like to win. So go home, play Fortnite, play fucking Call of Duty, but they're too bad at all that shit, so they go and cheat at Magic the Gathering. That's really what it boils down to. Is you're so bad at everything else that you have to reduce yourself to cheating at a card game so that you can feel some semblance of winning. That shit to me is irredeemable. Like I said, if somebody cheats, you're always a cheater in my book. Always.
But yeah, usually it all comes out then. It's usually some action gets taken. There's been people DQ'd from mid tournament. Real quick before we go into the last thing, the comparison. Yuta Watanabe, one of mine and Riley's favorite people to watch. He was sponsored by somebody at a pro tour, and like it was a modern pro tour, and his Urza Towers had indents on the card sleeves, and whether he did it, whether the people that sponsored him that gave him the stuff did it, like the Urza Towers were clearly marked, and he was DQ'd from that pro tour, and this is a Hall of Famer, and then like Owen Turtenwald, which the first Mythic Championship, he was informed like either right before or during like that he was being removed from the Mythic Championship for stuff that have to do with women or something. I don't know for sure. Nothing ever officially came out in court or whatever the case may be, but like find him quicker, Wizards. Get him out of here.
Exactly.
All right, so last time we ended the show, for once I picked the comparisons in Inuyasha. We're going to talk about these comparisons and get Skags out of here so we can get a mini fridge.
Yes. Let me go first because we're already past the point where I need to roll. So let me go first, and then I'll leave it running while you guys
Gotcha.
finish up. So mine, I'm gonna make these quick. Chris, Miroku, because Buddhist monk and like supportive healing just feels like it fits you. There's that as well. Q, Miyogi. Do you remember who Miyogi is?
Looking him up now.
You guys just kind of give off the same energy sometimes.
You mean Miyoga?
Yoga?
The little flea?
Oh, yeah, it is an A, not an A. I. Yoga.
Yeah, that's who I picked for myself as well, so I feel that.
And I'd probably, I don't know, for myself, like it's always fucking weird. But this one, I'm just taking Sashomaru because he's my favorite from the fucking show. Anyway, and homie's mad that he's got a sword that heals people instead of kills them all. And I'd be pretty pissed to have a sword that doesn't do damage and only it doesn't do damage to the race I want it to, and only heals them, but I can kill my own kind, which I'm supposed he doesn't want to do. Yeah, that's mine. I'll listen
Hell
back
yeah.
and I'll see what disrespectful shit y'all. I do gotta go.
All right.
All right, see ya.
Say it.
I'll let you go first this time, Q, because I usually go first, so you go ahead.
Okay. I picked how did you say his name? Miyoga?
Miyoga, yeah.
Miyoga. I picked him for me cuz I love that little bastard. I picked Inuyasha for Skags because Homie runs around and just he's a little bit disrespectful and sometimes a lot of bit disrespectful and has the sword. Skeggs is the sword homie. For you, Chris, it was a little bit more difficult. Because I end up always picking like you and Skaggs as like the either the homies who are against each other, and one of you guys is the bad guy and the good guy. So I was trying not to do that so much this time. I did like the I don't know how to say his name. Jinirji, the guy who's like helping his mom in the field. Just kind of like a monster.
The
But
big
I
giant
think
dude.
yeah, the big giant
I
guy.
know who you're talking about, but I don't know how to say his name. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I I'm leaning more towards him because he's one of those guys that's like even when all of the humans and everything are like against him and trying to kill him and everything, homie holds on and does his thing, and Inuyasha comes in and is like, hey, you know, shit can work out. So that's mine. I didn't have a whole lot of background to mine this time, but yeah.
I always got background to mine. So
Yeah.
I'll start with me first because mine is simple. Yours and Skaggs are never simple.
Yeah.
So Skaggs I don't know what Skaggs is thinking. He is definitely not Shishomaru at all. Um, I definitely picked Shishomaru for myself for a multitude of different reasonings. One's he's the older brother, he's wiser, irritated with his younger brother, a little jealous. Inuyasha does get the Tsuga, and Sesshomaru gets the Tenseiga. Ends up getting another sword down the road, but that's not relevant. Um,
He was my second pick for
my
you. So
my brother, I always felt got the better of our parents. So I got an Inuyasha playmat made a long time ago, and you might have seen it maybe once or twice. But it was a Shishomaru and Inuyasha playmat because I always could reference me and my brother being those types of situations. And like I said, Shishomaru is the wiser, the older brother, looks down upon the younger brother, and I did for a long time until we became adults. And now I know he won't watch this show, so I'm fine saying it. My little brother's one of my heroes, so I absolutely love my brother now. So, second guy I said for myself, definitely Moroku. Um, I asked multiple people this question, and everybody, their answer was Moroku. Just he's wise, he's a monk, helpful to people, but um, he he loves the ladies. We'll just say that Moroku has a thing for the women, and he's grab happy, so to speak. So when it comes to Skags, I'll do Skags first this time. I always try to come up with like a duo for you and Skags.
mhm.
Ever since I started doing it, and like there's not many duos I feel fit you guys, but the Thunder Brothers were the closest thing I could find in Inuyasha. That is the dudes in the fucking sky that have like the lightning. The one brother has like the bald head with like the one hair. But
Yes.
say you and Skags are the Thunder Brothers. I also said
Who's
Skags.
who?
I think you got to be the bald guy with the one hair. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn, that's fair.
Skags has got so much hair, man.
Yeah.
Skags has got a lot of hair.
Yeah, and mine is slowly but surely going away.
I also feel he's the nicer of the two brothers. Skags, I also put Totosai. You remember Totosai? He's the old man, the crafter of the Tetsaiga and the Tenseiga. He has
Oh
the big long
yes.
stick with the mallet, the hammer.
Yes, and the
Um,
crazy I thought they were glasses forever, but they're his weird eyes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
He is a senile old man, and I put in capital letters senile because Skaggs loves Rakdos Cackler, and he's senile because Rakdos Cackler sucks balls. Totosai has a strong sense of strong sense of honor. I feel Skaggs kind of is the same way. Totosai's powerful, not really shown in the show a lot, but he's powerful but cautious about it. And he's very protective of his blades. I feel Skaggs has some things he is protective of, so I feel that suits the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hachiman, Hachimon. It is Moroku's buddy, like that demon thing that can puff out, become real fat, and they fly on it.
Oh yeah, he's like a raccoon dog kind of guy.
Yeah. I have written down very loyal friend, which Skaggs is. Koga, loyal, protective, direct, impulsive at times. Rivalrous, which means Skaggs usually include in these anime comparisons. Skaggs is
Mm-hmm.
usually one of my rivals, so rivalrous and very instinctual, which I feel Skaggs is
Yeah.
all those qualities. And then Grandpa is one of them. I'm talking about Kagome's grandpa from the real world, the guy that's supposed to look over the Higurami Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
The two qualities I picked out were caring and a traditionalist. I feel those could suit Skaggs. The other qualities, not quite so much. Kotatsu. Kotatsu is there's an episode where there's a painter that possessed a shard of the jewel. And what he does is he uses ink to bring demons to life. He's a very evil guy. And at one point, I forget what happens, but he loses access to being able to do that. So he just commands the demons to take control of his body in this episode or whatever. So Skaggs is definitely Katatsu. He's an evil guy. And when I think evil, I think Skaggs surgical extraction deck.
Yep. That
Because
was evil.
what's more evil? What's more evil than making your opponent discard their stuff and preventing them from being able to use it? And then the last person was that I just added as you were talking was Inuyasha. Because um, if you ruffle Skaggs' feathers enough, he'll snap at you. He's younger than me. That's why he's Inuyasha and I'm Shishomaru. And, boy's got his swords.
Yep.
His sword. As for you, this one was a little bit more different and difficult. I did pick Miyoga. Miyoga is a very knowledgeable person, especially on topics that he knows a lot. He is involved in. He knows almost everything about it. Miyoga is loyal, and a lot of these comic relief
Yeah.
between you and Skaggs. I feel you are the funnier of the two constantly. So you are definitely the comic relief of the group. The next one on the list, which was the very first person I put, was Jockin, Shishomer's little demon buddy,
Mm-hmm. The little green
with
guy.
the
Yep.
with the four face staff, whatever it's called, staff of four faces. Comic relief, and he's extremely loyal to Shishomaru. There is, I think, out of everybody, like maybe Kagome's more loyal to Inuyasha than Jockin is, but it's close. Jockin never wants to leave Shishomaru's side, no matter what. I
Yeah.
feel you're probably one of the most loyal friends that we have, and obviously, comic relief. Jockin's one of the funniest characters in all of Inuyasha. Then we have Shippo. Shippo is extremely witty. He's very perceptive, caring, loyal, and playful, which I felt that can fit both you and Skaggs, but no one's more Shippo like than you, to be honest. Um, the Miyoga, like I said, knowledgeable, comic relief. He is kind of caring, but serious when needs to be. Also wise. He's very resilient. Like some of the times where Miyoga disappears in the middle of a conversation with Inuyasha, he realizes it, and then like 3 episodes later, we find out that he jumped onto the back of a passing dog or something. disappeared only to appear down the road. He's wise. Miyogi can be aggressive when he needs to be. And he's a very tough little guy. You'll probably have to look up this guy.
Okay.
But I said you are also Hosinki. I don't know if it's Hoshinki or Hosinki, but it's a Hosenki. It might be Hoshinki. There might be an H between the S and E, but I don't
Stinky.
know.
Yeah. Oh
But
wow.
he's a polite dude. He's amicable, skilled craftsman. I know you're not a craftsman, but you have like that type of like blue collar job in real life. Like you are a skilled trade, I guess I should say. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you are a skilled trade person. So you're skilled craftsman, loyal friend, and Hosinki or Hoshinki, whatever his name is. And I say this about you all the time. One of the most underrated characters in the entire series. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate all that because I feel like every time you come in with these, you've got like the greatest breakdowns, and mine are always silly most of the time. But
I
yeah,
will say the Pokemon one took me like multi hours. That one probably took me about an hour and a half at work, but
yeah.
I like to have good reasonings. But all right, everybody out there, I'll go ahead and cut it off for Skag. Give him a good cutting point. Like I said, technical difficulty at the first hour. We don't know if it's going to be included. Um, if it's not, we talked about Tokyo Game Show and the PlayStation State of Play and the prices for the Xbox handhelds that were revealed. Um, you can get a hold of social media. Skags is Vintage ISO on Twitter. Q doesn't have Twitter or really involved with social media, but you can find Q, aka Short Round, your mom's basement, according to the YouTube description. Um, find them on Steam. They play Borderlands 4, all that stuff. You can find them somewhere. Skags, Tyler Skaggs on Facebook, Vintage ISO, Dodgy Yeti, Twitch, YouTube. Obviously, you're watching the channel. Me, Chris Jones, Lord Chris, aka C Unit. You can find me writing articles, Lords of Gaming. Oh, first hour, we also talked about my review for Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilise Chronicles, and why a new person and returning player should play that. So hopefully you get to hear that. Well, my volume's not cut off. It's Skaggs that's all fucked up. So you can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Threads, Mastodon, Fuse, Facebook, Discord, Instagram.
He's
You can
got them
find me
all.
everywhere. You can find me everywhere social media exists. Lords of Gaming, community manager, lordsofgaming.net. We appreciate you for once again stopping by, hanging out, Thicc Boi Hours podcast, and we'll catch you next time.